everybody. Oh my gosh, it's Charlie Grace with Charlie Grace Adventures. I am so excited to be here today. Of course, my co-host, Ms. Rosie Bell Dog. This is her birthday week. So thank you for all the cards, presents, and gifts. It's been amazing. She's 6 years old. That's hard to imagine. In dog years, it means she's about 42. But today we're going to be doing RV Travel Talk. And of course, RV Travel Talk with the dog. I've got a special guest today. I'm very excited. They have a dog as well. We're going to talk about that. But let's see who we've got in the chat right now. And let's get down to some business. So here's the thing, guys. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, and listening on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. We appreciate your being here very much. We love comments in the chat. If you guys have any questions, just put a question mark or type the word question and we'll get them to you. Get them answered as quickly as we can. Also, if you decide to do any kind of super chats or a super sticker of any sort, we are donating that money through the month of November for an accessibility project for individuals with special needs who need ramps in their homes in Northwest Ohio. So this has been a really interesting project, and we're very excited to give our smile money to help the community members in need and to help shut-ins, especially during the holiday season. So let's take a look and see who's here today. Oh my gosh, so many people already. This is so exciting. Gracie and Jock are here. Hey, good to see you. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're doing really well in that van build. I can't wait to see it. Here's my buddy. Oh, the broken Nomad. Howdy, y'all. Speaking of van builds, he's doing a van build too. Oh gosh, all you guys are doing these things. Let me go down here. I think I see my friends Bobby and Leslie. Hey, Bobby and Leslie, thanks for being here. Oh, yes, of course. Happy birthday, Rosie. Of course, it's going to be a big Rosie Bell Dog week. I can feel it. There's Angie and Rick. Good to see you guys. I haven't seen you guys in a while. I'm so happy everything's going okay. Twitch. What's Twitch? I know for some people, believe it or not, we are sometimes platform specific. So you have friends on Twitch and they just hang out there. Imagine that. Love 7 is here. Oh my gosh, they are so awesome. They're in Helen, Georgia. Fantastic. Talk about a great place for being around the holidays. They were our guest last week. Really cool. They had a really interesting interview. So you guys should go check that out. There's Deborah. Hey, Deborah. Good to see you tonight. Well, let's get going, guys. Let's bring up our special guest because we have lots of questions and I know you guys are going to want to know all about them as well. So I think it's time. Let's see. Here we go. Guess who I have? I have the Blue Crab Nomads.
Hello.
All right. So these guys are awesome. By the way, I'm trying to figure out, there's been so many different things and people I've met over the years. And I was trying to think, did I meet you guys in person or did we just meet online? Because I've been watching your stuff on Instagram and I love it.
I think just online. I saw you at the Hershey show, but you were whizzing on by us, walking from, we were seeing a bunch of people. So we didn't get to connect in person, but that's what Tampa's for.
That's right. There's another RV show coming up in Tampa. Very cool. I'm excited about that. I know. I'm sort of like a big redhead mess whizzing down doing stuff. Oh, never a dull day. So I want to know, and everybody else wants to know, why are you called the Blue Crab Nomads?
So we are based out of Maryland. So it was originally, our page started as a blog for friends and family to follow along. It was just very small. We weren't doing advertising. We weren't posting much. And it actually started as a private Facebook group. And we created the Instagram. And one day we were trying to figure out what our name is and what fit us best. And Aaron said, what about Blue Crab Nomads? And we were like, that's it. The light bulb went off. And so we ran with it. But if you scroll all the way back to our page, it actually sat dormant for a little over a year with 1 or 2 posts. And then we started posting, and here we are.
There you go. And that's how it starts. Sometimes that's how it starts. Go ahead.
I actually was just trying to suggest to eat something for dinner, and I really wanted blue crabs, and somehow it came to the name. So
Understood. And I love Baltimore. I love Maryland. I have actually some roots and some history with the National Aquarium there. So I haven't been back for a long time, but I did some stuff with them, which was really, really neat. I love that place. Okay, Gracie says Charlie Grace is a whiz on her feet. Hard to keep up with her. Okay, I'm a little on the speedy side. I understand. And Broken Nomad said she's always doing her jump split thingies. I'd hurt myself in a few major ways if I tried that. Sorry, guys. It's true. I'm a little hyper. That's okay. Okay, well, let's keep going. I want to learn more about you guys and everybody else wants to know too. So what exactly made you just decide to start RV life?
So it's probably one of our crazier stories. We were living in an apartment in Columbia, Maryland, if you're familiar with the area. And my parents had bought a Class A from my grandparents, and something came up with the reservation that they had, and they said, why don't you just take it? It's, 20 minutes down the road is the campground. Why don't you try it out? So we had never driven a Class A before. We got in, and every single time we passed a car on the road, we screamed because we were not used to driving something that size. So we got to the campground. We had a whole bunch of issues setting up because we didn't know what we were doing. And we were there Friday through Sunday, so 2 nights. And we loved it. We loved everybody there. We loved everybody at the campground. And we went back to my parents' house, dropped the RV off, went back to our apartment, and sat on the couch and just started selling things on Marketplace.
Ooh,
and that night started looking for RVs. And it was like, these are our people. This is the sense of community that we don't have in an apartment. And so that night we started looking. We bought our first RV 2 weeks later, and we moved into it, I think, a month after that. And
we didn't know a thing about RVing. We didn't know how to hook up.
You just dove right deep in. You just went there.
That's kind of how we do things. We just jump into it and we'll figure it out later.
But we get there, we get to the campground, and we had some issues getting set up. It was late. We arrived after work, and everybody, all of our neighbors just came up and started helping us. We were missing a piece of equipment, and they called their friend, and they came over, and we looked at each other and we said, we don't know any of our neighbors in our apartment. We've lived there for a year and we couldn't name any of them. And within an hour, we knew everyone in the campground. So it was that sense of community that I think we just wanted for so long that we got instantly camping.
That's pretty awesome. And listen to this one. These young gentlemen were here at the Thousand Trails Orlando when I was first there a time ago. It says, dang, I didn't get to meet them. Sorry.
Aww.
See?
I recognize their names, so I know exactly who they are.
There you go.
Say hi when we see them next.
There you go. And Broken Nomad says trial by fire. Absolutely. When you guys
that is kidding.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up because I know you said my first RV. Yes. Everyone has their first RV.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that. So what RV do you currently own, but what did you get first?
So we have a 2024 Alliance Valor 42 V13. So it is a toy hauler with a side patio.
All right. And what did you get first?
Our first was a 2006 Winnebago Adventurer 38J. So it was about a 39-foot Class A.
Wow. Okay. This is a big difference.
It is.
So,
yes.
So, let's talk about motorized versus towing. So who drove the motorized the most between the two of you?
Me.
Okay. And who tows the most?
Me.
Someone has to make the sandwiches while he's driving, okay?
It's hard. It's a rough life, man. It's a rough
right.
So wait. So give me some pros and cons of both, because I hear this a lot. This is interesting because normally people go trailer first, motorized second. And I'm curious to find out, what was the reason between the shift.
So as the passenger, the con is I can't take a nap in the bed while we travel. Yeah. I can't watch TV while we travel. The pro is it doesn't feel like we're going to fall off the cliff every time we pass a truck. So
That's a good point. Very good point.
Starting out, again, we knew nothing. We really didn't. It was, what are we going to do and what is going to fit us the best? We decided a Class A because at the time we didn't have a truck. We didn't have a dually. We didn't have a big pickup truck. We both had sedans. And knowing that my parents had a Class A, we figured that they would go on trips if we were in a fifth wheel that we couldn't move, and we couldn't go with them.
Right.
So we figured let's get something drivable, and then a Class A came up because you have more space.
Right.
So we found that Class A. It turned out to be a great deal. The previous owners took great care of it, so we really lucked out. We did not go on a single trip the entire time we owned it. So it we were stationary at a campground to begin with.
Wow.
We were not on the road full time. So we sat at a campground stationary. It never moved. And I think we went on one trip right before we got rid of it. And in that period, I left my job and got a remote job. And we kind of had a conversation of, well, now that I'm not working in the office, what does this mean for us and what can we do? So we started kind of gearing our life towards being remote, so that we could start traveling. So Aaron took that time to find a remote job as well.
Okay.
And as we started to get towards being remote, we decided, is this the RV that we want to travel with? It was a little bit older, and we never truly felt safe in the Class A as much as I wish that we did. I know that newer Class A's have better, safety and diesel Class A's especially, have great air suspension. But I never truly felt safe driving it, and I know that Aaron didn't feel safe always riding in it. So we started at the Hershey show last year. We started looking, and we came upon our second RV, which we're now on our third. And we went with a Alliance regular fifth wheel at the time.
Okay.
And so we were in that from October of last year to August of this year.
Gotcha.
Where we ended up in our current one.
So, okay, so this begs the question. So what kind of truck are you towing your Alliance with?
We currently have a 2022 Dodge Ram 3500 dually.
I have a Dodge Ram 3500, just not the dually.
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice, buddy. Okay.
We really do.
I love mine. Yeah. Have you had any mechanical issues or anything that anyone should know about?
So it's funny. We actually just saw today, somebody posted, we had an issue where the DPF, the diesel particulate filter, comes on and it says that it's full and it needs to regenerate and burn off the, all the particles, and it's a recall. So we've had the recall fixed, and it just came back on again last week, and it throws on the check engine light. So I've seen somebody else post they had the same issue. We'll see.
You got to keep up with those recalls. It's a thing. All right, we got a couple questions here from Love7. How do you like the side porch versus the campground pad?
We love it. So the reason we got the side patio, we wanted a garage for an office. We wanted a golf cart, but what drove us to the side patio was Milo. So being able to be out there with us, he doesn't have to be on a lead. He can run in and out. We love it. We spend no time on the back patio and all on the side patio.
Okay, and that's a big deal. Wait, I've got to show a picture of Milo because he is just absolutely adorable. Hold on, guys. If you don't know who Milo is their pup. Milo is adorable. So give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna brag. I'm gonna do a little boasting here. All right, look at that. Look at that adorable picture.
Oh,
that's
look at him.
He's so cute.
So well behaved in that photo. He's on so much Benadryl in that photo.
Aww. Aww. Okay,
no dogs were drugged in this photo.
Okay, now what kind of dog is Milo?
He is an English cream lab.
And how old is Milo now?
1.5 years.
Yeah.
Still a puppy.
He is.
Really? So labs are puppies for a while. So yeah, that's good for you though. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Keeping him still for that hot split second.
It was a feat.
He just had his half birthday, right?
He did.
Your mom's probably watching this. She knows his birthday better than
there you go.
She's probably going to
grandmas know everything. They know everything. My mother, I just went to see my mother, and she could care less about seeing me, but she went to see the dog. So
yes.
That's how that works. I love this. So let's talk about Milo for just 1 second, because a lot of people on here have dogs as well. Is there anything special that you have to do for Milo while you travel? Does he do okay traveling in a truck? Give me some ideas here.
So he has the whole back seat. From our Denali to our Ram, it was really important that we had a truck that it folded flat to fit his bed in the back, because he is very particular. He doesn't like any bumps or ridges in his bed. He has the whole back seat. He often rides there between us with his feet on the console. But on longer drives, I actually push the passenger seat all the way to the front, and I have to ride in the back with him. He's very needy on travel days, so Sean will kind of chauffeur us around, and I often put like a movie on or whatever it may be, and he will lay in my lap the entire time.
We got very, very lucky. He's great in the truck. As soon as we jump in, if it's maybe a 2-hour drive, he's asleep. He's out the whole time. So he rides great. We couldn't have gotten luckier. For travel days, he did not like the Class A. He was not a fan.
Really?
He wanted to be between us, and that's where the engine was, because it wasn't a diesel. So the engine was right there, so it was loud and you could hear it. And he did not like hearing the whole house creak behind us, and
Yeah.
you know, all of our
It is a
dishes.
little scary. It's very scary. I mean, you can
Yeah.
only imagine, being, I think the first time when Rosie, I had a Class C, and I didn't have cabinets that latched, and I wasn't too bright about putting certain places, and things were falling. Not cool. Not cool at all.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
There we go. One more question from Gracie says, what type of remote jobs do you guys have?
Yeah, that's a great question. We get that question often, actually. So Sean and myself, we actually both do small business consulting. So companies that are just getting started, or maybe companies who have been in business for a while, but they want to revamp their operations or whatnot, they'll reach out to us, and we'll kind of come in and help them either reorganize their systems, help them with any HR issues that they may have, or just kind of lend them another opinion or another ear on their business.
Yeah, that's, and honestly, you need that outside, looking in kind of thing. It's really hard when you're really in the middle of it. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You got specialize in any type of business?
So both of our backgrounds are in real estate. So our current clients mostly consist of either small or large real estate teams. We actually have some multifamily and some vacation rental teams as well.
Nice. Very cool. Well, we can talk real estate because I'm learning all about that too. That's really cool. Love that one. Okay. New Horizon says, we love our fifth wheel RVs. It truly feels more like a home. Jim says it handles on the road better than the Class A. So I met them when they had their Class A the first time, and I loved their Class A. And then they got this fifth wheel. I was like, wow, it's a huge difference. It's a big difference. Yeah.
It gives you a lot. I mean, even we went from a 40-foot Class A to a 42-foot fifth wheel. And even though it was an extra 2 feet, the driving cabin of the Class A took up about 8 feet. So we really gained 10 feet of living space. So we felt like we were in the Taj Mahal when we first moved in. We could just, it was like a bowling alley running up and down. We had so much space that we didn't have before in the Class A.
Yeah. It's that people forget about that little bump. They really do. I mean, that was one of the things that I was disappointed when I had a C, because I couldn't use it for anything. I couldn't turn it around. I couldn't do that.
Right.
It's just you got to look at every single square inch. You've got to figure out how it works, and you're paying for it and you're towing it. So I might as well enjoy it. I love that. Good questions, guys. You guys have got some good questions coming in on the chat. Thanks so much, guys. This is good. Okay. So here's the question then. So you've been with 3 RVs. Right now, with the RV you have now, if there's one thing you could change.
I already know what you're going to say.
Wait. You both have to have an answer, not just one.
There we go. So 3 RVs in 3 years. We're really good at making now like what our must-have list is. So this RV is checked pretty much every box. There's one box that it hasn't checked, and it's gonna happen one day. I said after 3 RVs, this one, I need my dishwasher back.
Oh, okay. All right.
So since we had the apartment, we had not had a dishwasher, and I've done without it for 2 years. I'm going to find a way to put one in this one.
All right. That's a good one.
I noticed the difference.
I love it.
I am the dishwasher.
Yeah, there you go. There's always one person who's the dishwasher. And what here's the question though. Do you like, I'm still a stickler for plates. I mean, yes, I'll do paper plates and stuff, but I sort of like it on glass, or I like having a really nice, that's just me.
We don't do paper. We don't do plastic. Everything is real dishes, real cups.
Sean just got these like really thin aesthetic glass cups. And I was like, how long are these going to last?
We can start taking bets on that right now.
I know. Right?
I kept the box they came in on travel days. I can put them back in the
box. Yeah, that's exactly what you need. I can see that. Okay, we got a prediction though, guys. I can see there'll be 4 in 4 years, 4 RVs.
It would take a lot.
Wow.
So when we had the conversation, the crazy conversation, when we had our second RV and we were thinking about a third one, and we were like, are we really going to do this? Are we really going to do a third RV in 3 years?
Yeah.
And we said, if we do, it needs to check all of our boxes. He needed to get what he wanted. And because I'm the tech guy, I'm the one that does all the work on the RV and drives and everything, I wanted to custom order it and get all my fun things. The behind the scenes stuff. So that's what we did. And we agreed that if we were going to order one, it was going to be more long-term than 1 year. Yeah. So
I think everybody says that.
Right. We'll see what he says after the Tampa show in a few weeks. Okay?
4 RVs in 4 years, probably not, but 4 RVs in 5, I'm not I'm not making any guarantees.
We were in a Gunquit this past summer, and we drove by the beach, and he goes, Aaron, look at that Sprinter van. They can just pull over and park wherever. Would it be nice to have a Sprinter van? Absolutely not. No, we're going home.
Yeah. Yeah, I said I would love to have a truck that tows a fifth wheel that tows my van. Then we could talk.
Yeah.
You know, that would be perfect. Best of all worlds. Or, you know, there's things that, you know, it's a little different because van life, and I can talk about van life now. I don't have to park it and come back to it, like rubber band back to it. Like when you're in a campground, I sort of just go and park as I go or find places as I go. I just don't have to come. It's just hard to explain because once you're so used to campgrounds and once you're so used to that kind of thing, it changes the dynamics a little bit. And it's hard to even like, I was just at a meetup not too long ago and we were all going out to lunch. Like, okay, well, let's all go out to lunch. Well, they, of course, were carpooling in their Jeeps, which been there, done that, you know, in trucks, which is fine. And I'm just driving my van with my dog and we're going to lunch. And they're like, oh, we got to get back and let our dogs out. I'm like, yeah, mine's just right there.
Right.
Like I could stay for another beer or two. I'm good. I can hang out for a little while longer. Little differences. Real quick question here. We want to know, do you guys ever boondock?
So we have not in this one. We've only had it since August. But in the last fifth wheel, we did. Aaron's family has about 75 acres that has not been lived on for 40 some years. 40 some years. Yep. So it's just a beautiful hills and farm. So we spent 2 weeks. 2 weeks there in the late spring. And we loved it, but we don't have a full solar system. So we ran a generator, which was fine. We were in the middle of nowhere, so it didn't much matter. But we are not boondockers.
You're glampers.
We're glampers. I said, Granddad, do you have water? He goes, yeah, there's a well there. Just, you know, hook it up to your RV and pump it. We said, okay, cool. Well, spigot, you turn it, it turns on. No, it was a hand pump well. Yeah. So we had the fun that we parked a quarter mile away from said hand pump. Oh, no. So we had to figure out how to get water into the RV. We learned. We did it.
We did it.
I don't want to do it again now.
we very much say we like to travel in an RV. We don't necessarily like to camp. There's a big difference.
Big difference.
So I do like to camp, but not for extended periods of time.
Yeah.
I still like my washer and dryer, my showers, and
yeah, they're definitely. I'm more of a glamper, and I camp too. Don't get me wrong, because I know there's people in this chat who know that I camp too. However, I love me some hot showers. I love, you know, I'm not going to turn down a resort. Are you kidding? If I have a chance to go to a resort, I am so there. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with those things. I think it's fantastic. Okay, so let me go back to the chat here for a second. Here we go. Deborah said, here we go. And if you, in a van, you travel in it, it's about the journeying versus the camping. You're right, it is. Do you guys have any, you're currently in the Florida area. Are you going to be staying in the Florida area through the winter, or are you traveling other places?
We'll be in Florida for the winter.
Yeah.
We're from Maryland. It's too cold to go back north.
Just a little. But let's talk about campgrounds since we brought up campgrounds and resorts. Do you guys have like a favorite membership or a group or place? Like, what's your favorites?
So we are 1,000 Trails members. I know that there's controversy. Some people love it. Some people hate it. We couldn't do this life without it. We really couldn't. We have the top membership, the adventure package, which even so, the monthly payment that we're paying for it is still way cheaper. I mean, full disclosure, we pay $260 a month. And I looked the other day, and one night at the Fort Wilderness Campground at Disney is $275 a month, or $275 a night. So we paid for it. We have not paid for a campground since August, which is great, other than, you know, paying for the campground membership. But favorite campgrounds, we have two that we've discovered in the past year.
Abby Hanna.
Hanna Park.
Yeah.
In Jacksonville.
Fantastic.
which is the one that we were talking to you about. It is a city park, best kept secret, full hookups, maybe a quarter or half-mile walk to the Atlantic Ocean, and you just feel like you're in this tropical jungle, and it's the best thing we've had.
Do you remember when you opened the blind and there was a raccoon on a tree right outside our kitchen window just staring back at Sean?
About 3 feet out the window.
That was our favorite activity. Sean's parents still camp there with us as well, and at night we'll walk the dogs and we always take our flashlights and we shine it in and see what eyes are looking back at us.
Yep. Great.
Yeah.
It could be anything. Camper, raccoon, alligator. I don't know.
Right.
Great.
Within the Thousand Trails world, we recently fell in love with Moody Beach.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Up in Maine. It is in Wells, Maine, about 5 to 10 minutes from Ogunquit, which is the best.
Incredible.
And the campground itself is a great campground, but it's the area that makes it why we love it.
Yep.
Yeah, Maine's on my list. I have not been to Maine yet. That's one of those things I need to do. And everywhere family's like, dang it, I missed the name of the campground you were talking about. I think they're talking about Hannah Park. It was a city park outside Jacksonville. So write it down, guys. You know, I'm just saying,
gotta $30 a night. It's incredible.
I love this thing. Oh my goodness, Stanley McFalls is here. Hey, Stanley, good to see you, buddy. And Broken Nomad said, as long as I have food and water, I'm set. Yeah, he is the antithesis of glamping. He is a major camper. So yeah, when I go camping with certain friends, they're like, oh, we're gonna rough it. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like making like a fettuccine Alfredo dish with chicken and all sorts of yummy things. And they're like, let's open up a bag and put some hot boiling water in it.
To be fair, if we can open windows and it's, cool that we're not dying inside with the windows open, we're great.
Nice. Yeah, no, I can go with you on that one. Very cool. Okay, so now that we know what your campgrounds are, we know you're a glamper. I want to know, what are some things that you cannot live without on your travels?
Travel for travel day, because it's travel day. Sean has to have the snacks. When we travel, I pack the center console. We have our Doritos. We have the Nerds. We have the Big Dippers from Aldi's, if you've never had them. We have every snack you can think of. It's a necessity for travel day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Well, wait. What are your snacks then? Hold on. I'm getting with the Doritos and Nerds. Yeah, what do you like?
What are your snacks?
Oh, that's a good question. What are my snacks? What do I like to eat?
Sunflower seeds.
Oh yeah, sunflower seeds.
Sunflower seeds.
So good.
Yeah,
the dill pickle one, my favorite.
Oh, those are good. Those are really good. All right, guys, we have a super chat from Miss Deborah, who is very sweet. And Deborah, that is absolutely very generous of you. You know where it's going to go. We're going to help out some people with some mobility issues. So we're going to give you, let's see, what are we going to do? Let's go for a race. Okay, ready for this? Here we go. All right, Deborah, once again, you rock. I think you're the right man because you're beating me. You're always beating me. There you go. Woo! I love that.
Love it.
So much fun. Thanks, guys. That's so sweet. I appreciate your kindness and generosity. Really does help a lot of people. So we love that. All right, let's keep going though. We got some good questions here. So Doritos, Nerds, sunflower seeds. Okay. Other than food on travel days, what are some other things you may not be able to live with? Are you like a ninja foodie? Are you like an air fryer kind of person?
We're pretty. We actually are. We're one of the few people that actually use the oven that comes in the RV. But in the RV, one of the things I will say, one of the things that we really learned, especially in the past couple of weeks, that we can't live without, we have the Waggle pet monitor.
Oh yeah.
We just experienced a power outage at one of the campgrounds that we were at for 3 days. And it went off and we were home. We have a generator in this RV. And so we were able to fire up our generator, but the campground did not alert anybody of the power outage. So there were people that were gone all day. We're near Orlando. So they were at Disney and had no idea. Pets in the RV, and it was 90 degrees out. So that is one thing that I stress to anybody that has a pet that, is huge, and we wouldn't travel without it.
We check it constantly while we're gone. We're always pulling it up.
I think it's a big deal. I mean, I have multiple different things. I mean, when people talk to me about pets, you know, if you have a pet, you need to have a plan A, B, and C. You know, just because you're aware of the temperature, you're aware the electricity went off, who's going to go get it if you're 2.5 hours away? Or who's going to let it out, or what are you going to do? So there's lots of different ideas out there. And I'm glad you guys are totally on, because you got a baby. You got a fur baby now. You got to think about it, man. It's a thing. Okay, here's a question from Gracie. Do you ever have issues getting into these luxury parks?
So we really don't stay at the resort campgrounds as much. I've gotten very spoiled with the Thousand Trails that we kind of stay within it because the campgrounds are included in our membership. I really try to stay within that to make it as affordable as we can. Getting into the nicer campgrounds when we do, luckily I've seen that I guess you could call it the more luxury campgrounds are gearing themselves towards the bigger RVs. It's the state parks and the smaller campgrounds where we've had issues, but there's only really been a few that we absolutely cannot fit in.
Sean does a great job. He books us, you know, with our booking window. He has us booked out months in advance. And I go wherever he tells me. And I'm notorious for like 3 days before checking in. I'll be on my phone. I'm like, oh my God, did you see this park? We should stay there. Let's go there this week. And he's like, do you not know the work that goes into setting all these reservations up?
It's a lot. No. It's stressful. It is. People don't talk about the stress. I call it parking stress. You know, it's you know when you get it planned out 6 weeks in advance, you're like, okay, this is 2 months. But then all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, I haven't reserved anything for that next spot, and you're like, oh, it's a lot.
Yeah. And it's a little bit more pressure winter in Florida because
everything books up so fast.
If you're a full-time RVer and you don't want to be in the cold, where are you going to go? Florida. And we're not the only ones that have that idea. So every single campground is booked, every single site for the next couple months. So one small change to our campgrounds can really derail a lot because of all this, you know, kind of...
Okay, so I want to ask that question because I hear this a lot. Like, all of a sudden we have a hiccup in your schedule. Do you have a plan B for a hiccup? I'm going to go to Harvest House? Are we going to go to Cracker Barrel? Like, what would happen?
Yeah, what would happen, hon?
Luckily, we have never not been able to find a spot. That doesn't always mean that day I can jump on and get us those 2 weeks that we need to book. Sometimes I'm logging in every single day, trying to get 3 days and then 2 days and kind of mash those 2 weeks together.
Right.
But it's always worked out. It doesn't always mean that we get to travel on our desired travel days. Sometimes we're 3 nights here and 4 nights there.
Right.
But we haven't had to resort to an emergency. But in that case, I would probably just start looking at any paid campground that's close by and just go. That it's not too expensive.
It's tight, and I've heard this a lot. That is something to really think about. Now, New Horizons says they love their Thousand Trails membership. It helps make full-time RV life so much more affordable. And I remember her saying this. Oh, mercy, they lost power at Thousand Trails for 3 days in Orlando.
Yeah, I was just about to say, anyone on social media or that like full times, they knew exactly the campground it was the minute you said that.
Yeah, it's a little interesting when you start booking all these things. Deborah's like, Cracker Barrel rocks. You know what? You've got to figure out how those in between things. Cracker Barrel is also awesome, especially when you get biscuits and gravy for breakfast. I have learned
say, that's a negative that we found is that when we had the Class A, we did Cracker Barrel all the time.
Yeah,
we no longer fit into the RV lanes at Cracker Barrel.
Oh, yeah.
So while we love Cracker Barrel and we go frequently, going in the RV, I try not to do because we've done it a few times that I have to actually park in the parking lot and take up multiple spaces. And I try not to do that unless we absolutely have to.
Understood. I can see that. Okay. I'm bringing up a hot topic. Yeah. Let's talk Alliance.
Yeah.
You've had 2.
We have.
Let's talk about this just a little bit. I want to know good, bad, and different. How's your feelings on it? Quality? What are your thoughts?
So I was not an Alliance fan our first few months. And I say this only because we have 2 of them now. First few months, we had some warranty issues, as every RV does. There's no RV that's perfect. I don't care what anyone says, however much they're being paid to say it, right? We had some issues. I was really frustrated. I didn't want to deal with it. I was, just irritated at the company, irritated at the RV. And the way that they took like ownership of the issues that we had and really saw it through, we ended up going to Elkhart, to the factory, really made us fall in love with the company and the brand, and kind of led us to the second one. Sean, as he said, does all the mechanical things. I couldn't tell you how half the stuff works on here, but I know where everything goes inside. So for me, I love the interiors and the quality of it, right? So because I'm always the one doing the inside, I noticed that, everything is really sturdy, all the detail, because I'm very particular about the attention to detail on the inside. The finish work is done really great. The customer service and the team that we've worked with has been fantastic. And then I'll let you talk about all the important stuff.
Customer service is really important. Let me just say this right now. I'm glad that you were very honest and said, things do break, but they stepped up, like you said, and you felt good about your purchase after that point in time. And that's a big statement.
Yeah. Yeah. When we first started to look at a fifth wheel, when we were still in the Class A, we were looking at everything. We didn't know, again, we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know what floor plan we wanted. So at the time we got a rear kitchen fifth wheel. But I think I posted in probably one of the most generic, I think it was like Full-Time RV Living Facebook group that has hundreds of thousands of members, and just said, what are good fifth wheels for full-time living? And one woman, I couldn't even tell you who it was, just posted and said Alliance warranties for full-time. So he saw my comment or my posts, and we both saw her comment at the same time. He was at work, I was at home. We both went online and sent each other the same floor plan within 5 minutes of each other.
Yeah.
And we were like, we need to look at that. We knew nothing about any of the companies.
And we did that night, and we bought it that night.
We did. So that
we
night,
really are like feet first people.
Yeah. There was one 30 minutes away from us. It was a Hershey Show special. Mm-hmm. And so we went and looked at it, and that was it. So we really didn't do a lot of research. So we just kind of fell into Alliance. So we didn't choose the first one because of the company.
Yeah.
And we did. We had issues with it. We did not get that one inspected. We just bought it, and that was it. It turned out to be a really good unit, but there were things that, we're living in it and it's going down the road.
Right.
So we were going to the Alliance rally in June up in Elkhart, and I contacted them and I said, look, why don't you guys fix everything in the factory? You know how to do it the best, instead of trying to deal with mobile techs and whatnot. And they did. They got us in right before the rally. They fixed everything in 2 days, and they fixed things that weren't even on our list.
Yep.
Nice.
And they did a fantastic job, and we loved the company from then. We got to meet the CEOs. We got to meet the managers, the executives. They came into our rig and talked to us and introduced themselves. And it was a very small company feel.
Yeah.
When it came time for us to look at the second RV or second fifth wheel, the one that we're in now, we looked at everything.
We weren't loyal. We looked at every brand on the market.
It's not that we weren't loyal, but I wanted to do our due diligence and really look at everything.
Yeah.
So we looked from low price point to very high price point. And we kept coming back to Alliance. And I think part of it, honestly, was what we were familiar with. Mm-hmm. We knew how their warranty system worked. We knew what they stood behind. So when we custom ordered this one, we drove down to Texas to pick it up, and I did pay for a third-party inspection to get it done. And I think the most major thing that came back on it was that the exhaust pipe on the generator was not sticking out far enough out of the side of the RV. And that was it. Since then, we've not had a single issue. And we've gone from Texas to Maine and to Florida.
Wow.
And we drove 3,000 miles round trip to get that RV. So if you haven't seen that on our page, you have to go back and watch those videos. And we decided to drive from Maryland to Texas and back just to pick it up in the middle of August in 120-degree weather.
Wow. Okay, that's commitment, guys. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
But I think it's really nice when you have the opportunity. Like you said, you ordered the things that you wanted that were important to you on your punch list. Like you take the time now and said, okay, I want this. We need this. Da 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 da. A lot of people don't get that opportunity. Sometimes it's like, well, it's never gonna be perfect, so I guess I'll have to deal with that. And it's good to hear that you like your purchase.
Yeah. We've been really, really happy with it. I think it checks as many boxes as it possibly can while still being an RV and it not being custom built and us paying that custom build price.
Right. And I think that going to RV shows, this is sort of interesting. And I had this happen to me once. When I had my second class C, I went to an RV show and there was nothing there that was any more than what I wanted. Like I was very happy. Like it made me feel good about my purchase. I was like, yeah, I got the right one. Like this is what I needed. So it's not always, that you're going to go buy one. Sometimes it's just to see what's new and different. And sometimes it solidifies your decision and let you know what's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very neat. Love this. All right, guys. Well, here, oh my God, we have been like chit-chatting like crazy. And I want to know before we end tonight, this is big because we've been talking about bucket list things. I know you guys have gone all the way from Maine to Florida, but do you have any bucket list travel ideas to take your RV to?
So a few years back, we flew out to Phoenix and drove up to Sedona and spent a week there. And we loved it. So we stayed in this amazing Airbnb overlooking the Red Rocks, and we went off-roading. We drove 6 miles into the desert just to like stargaze. And on that drive one night, we saw an RV like boondocking in the middle of the desert. And we were like, that's so cool. Like, how fun would that be? And so I think like my personal bucket list item is somewhere out west. I want to go off-grid, actual camp in the middle of the desert, just to see the stars. Like that's all I want.
Wow. That's a very, I like that one. That's very good. Okay. All right. Anything else?
Mine would be, I've been twice and it's one of my favorite places in the entire country. And I cannot wait to take Aaron is Moab, Utah.
Oh yeah.
It is it's just such an incredible place. And I can't wait to get there and be there in the RV where we have our house with us and we're not just lugging, coming with a suitcase. And we can spend, multiple weeks there and really just immerse ourselves in the parks and the scenery and everything that there is to do there. So both out west goals for us.
That's cool. Okay. And Gracie says, come on out to Oregon.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Oregon's
we have 2
beautiful.
weddings, and one in Zion and the other one up in the Redwoods in 2025. So we're going to be spending some time out west.
I'll be out there.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I'm coming out there too. Everywhere family says, come on out to Kentucky. It seems so random in the middle of nowhere, but Kentucky is beautiful. There's some gorgeous places there.
Yeah.
Really nice. Really cool. I've been doing a lot of Appalachian things, travels. It's so worth it. I love this. Well, guys, you have been fantastic. I have learned so much about you. I know everyone else in the community is going to learn so much about you guys too.
Yes.
Do me a favor before I forget, guys. Take a look at their channel. Follow them on Instagram. Follow them on Facebook. Follow them on YouTube. All the good stuff. Are you on TikTok too? Remind me. I believe so.
We're on everything but Twitch. We're getting into long form videos. So our YouTube is still small, but I would say we're the most active on Instagram and TikTok. But
yeah, it's fun. I'm telling you, TikTok RV creators are on the rise. And this is something that a lot of people aren't really realizing. I'm really excited about that. So for those of you who are on TikTok, follow Blue Crab Nomads. Really cool. Lots of stuff going on, guys. Did I see? Wait, I see ears.
Yeah, so there's
the puppy. Oh, hi, Milo.
He had to say hello before the end.
So sweet. All right, well, guys, I am going to put you down in the basement. Oh my gosh, there's even doggy treats down there. So be careful. I'll be right back. Hold that thought. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Bye, guys. They are so sweet. I am so happy to have them here tonight. If you guys, like I said, have a chance, check out Blue Crab Nomads. These guys have some fantastic content. You've heard their story. They have sort of like a Goldilocks story, like I do too. They had 3 RVs till they found that right one, and they're living the dream. They're out there. They're working remotely. They're doing all sorts of really cool stuff. So if this is something that you're really interested in, and you want to continue, and you want to learn more about RVs, follow us and watch our RV Travel Talk podcast. You can do it live every Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we love having you here and asking questions and just being a part of the community. So thanks, everybody, for being here. I am so excited. All the comments, all the questions, and we will see you guys next week, next Monday, for RV Travel Talk. Sounds good.